Jesus. Jesus. What is happening here? This one big bro. This one is called battalion. This one is more than troop. Jesus. And ladies and gentlemen, this Mampolo from Mampolo's Corner. Renew your mindset. Guys, you see this dialogue when they talk between ECOWAS, when they say, on our father, Tinubu, now they heard them. And the Niger coupies, now it's not working anymore. They don't lock, deadlock. You know what again? The coupies, people want to overthrow that, whether not Bazou, been a Mazou, and they call the former president of Niger. People want to introduce and say, no, they go allow them to stay there for 3 years. May they use 3 years, think what Tinubu they talk with the ECOWAS members and say 3 years. Military go take charge of Niger for complete 3 years. They say yes. That is the only condition peace go in. Now ECOWAS people now come back and say no, it can never happen. We need to use the last resort. We need to use the last resort. We need to use the last resort, which is military intervention. That is only the language this coupies one day for Niger go understand. We must employ the military action now. When a Tinubu talk that and finish, and ECOWAS people can't talk that and finish, I can't call Tinubu. I say, you sure say you go feel accomplished? They say, yes, Mampolo's Corner. I say, it's all right. I say, Tinubu, come, make I show you some video. Some video when it say Mali and Burkina Faso and some other foreign Western world. They don't carry troop, they come inside Niger. They are now joining force with Niger. They are joining force, serious force with Niger. If you see troop, if you see machine gun, I hear say even warplane, all of them, they don't carry them land for Niger, then they wait for you, Tinubu, and your ECOWAS people. They say, come on, bring the fight. They say, come on, get us the fight, we are ready. Niger people, they wait for now. When I won't go for war. All right, now make una prepare. I said the troop one Mali and Burkina Faso, heavy duty, and the flight jet and the flight and war flight where they don't carry land now for Niger that they wait to not die. He said they are waiting for Tinubu and ECOWAS member. I can't say these people. You see, if they got some country won't be forced Western world, all those raw, you know those raw people. The people I said that they put hands small inside. now you want to go put your head. No. I can't say Tinubu, hold on, no. Let me show you this video first. Make you assess them whether or not what your head go carry. For those who never see the video when I show Tinubu, all right now, watch this video. Everywhere scatter. And it don't be like say the Nigerians, they are very happy. They are happy say those people they come. It's all right. Jesus. Oh! Now prepare. Troops. But they work for Tinubu and ECOWAS. He said, come over. You never finish. We go there, we go wait. We go to give update here. And the citizens are happy. Well done, no, safe journey. Good luck to you. You are your ECOWAS. Without advice, you know one here. No be small. They don't want finish. Ah, what is happening here? This one big goal. This one is called battalion. This one is more than troop. Jesus. When I see the video, now this video I showed Tinubu, I say, go and reassess this thing and come back to me. Tinubu, you see, as I talk, I believe, say, you see, they watch this video. They dwell on them, they think about them. Is that they don't say no one be up again? No, this one are the terrestrial, that is ground, land. They don't say war jet, war flight, war anything, war plane. All of them they landed now. That they wait for Tinubu and ECOWAS people. If you know to your papa the military for Niger and all those ECOWAS, they say may one more. If not the right time to resign, I don't know that one concern. Because I know what I'm saying here. It's not going to be a simple thing. It's going to be a very complicated problem. One of the one create for ourselves. Instead of one you go do your own and mind your country. Now you got one man who analyze this video. who analyze this problem one day for Niger and all these Tinubu and ECOWAS and others. Okay, I don't want to waste time. Let's listen to him. Watch the video.
Yes. Now, the drums of war around the constitutional crisis in Niger Republic assumed a louder decibel this past week. ECOWAS spelling out a definite plan to militarily intervene in the West African nation if diplomacy fails to achieve a restoration of Mohamed Bazoum as president following a coup d'etat. Curiously, the regional bloc again had a delegation sent to Niger to meet with leaders of the junta also on the same week. Publicly pursuing these two approaches to a possible resolution of the crisis remains a matter of surprise to a lot of people. To what end, they say? Well, to have a discussion. We are now being joined by Dr. Odiapo Obire, President of Good Leadership Advocacy for Africa. Good to have you, Doctor. Thank you for joining us on Newsday.
Thank you for having me.
Well, let's begin with the statement that was, or an excerpt of the statement that was made by the coup leader when he said that ECOWAS is getting ready to attack Niger by setting up an occupying army in collaboration with a foreign army. Just wondering what you make of that statement in terms of how it applies to any diplomatic efforts here from here on out.
There is a charter that formed the ECOWAS, and all ECOWAS countries are supposed to be bound by this. But with the situation of things happening in some part of Africa right now is really not encouraging. And ECOWAS have the sole responsibility to ensure that the member states keep to the agreement they have in forming the body. Now, there are different ways of resolving such issues, which I believe that ECOWAS as a body is already exploring. The issue of time is a major concern here because war is not really an option. And if those who have taken over the power from the president, the ousted president, are bent on staying in that office, it simply means that they are also ready to engage the regional body in a war in case ECOWAS decide to resort to that as the last resort.
That's true.
As the last resort, because Dialogues are going on, which is the very best way to go about this whole thing. There are issues internally in Niger, which ECOWAS also need to take some time to reflect on, because if you take a look at what had happened in Niger today, is because probably the juntas, they took advantage of the kind of leadership that was on ground at the time this thing happened, because African leaders really need to do better. They need to do better, because the welfare of the people is a major concern. If the people are not properly governed, certainly when negative things like this happens, they tend to see it as if it's a way out for them for a better living. So they have met on Thursday in Ghana. I think the head of militaries from every of the countries, except those of Niger, Mali, and Burkina Faso. I think some of them met in Ghana, and they have taken a decision. But then, I still maintain that dialogue should continue so that we can restore peace and democracy back to Niger.
Very good, Dr. Obiri. Now, Abdulrahmani Jani is proposing a 3-year transition period of power, and ECOWAS, of course, the international community as well, wants a quick return to constitutional authority. What guarantees do we have that power will be returned to the civilians within that period? If you remember, not too long ago in Mali, Colonel Goita's rulership at some point truncated the interim government that was to run for 2 years, and within a short time, he's back in power. So, what do you make of that scenario?
I think 3 years. 3 years is not acceptable. It's not acceptable because, like you mentioned, Mali, they gave a period of 2 years to be able to restore democracy back in governance in Mali. But as of today, they are the ones that are giving some backing to what happened in Niger at the moment. And this is not good, because you look at Burkina Faso issue, now Mali, you look at even South Sudan and others. We shouldn't encourage this style of toppling government, because it should be a thing of the past. We should not go back to such ways of unconstitutional installation of governments. We look at the time frame that they have given. 3 years is a long time. It's a huge time for a junta to settle and continue in government. So I don't think ECOWAS should accept. ECOWAS shouldn't accept such a time frame for democracy to return back to Niger. It should be as quick as possible.
I definitely hear you, Doctor. And earlier you mentioned that African leaders need to do better, and the welfare of people is a major concern. The people see such actions like what we're seeing going on in Niger as a way out and probably a better shot at a better way of living. This is when we see what's happened with the call for Nigerians to volunteer to support the army, and we earlier on during the show we saw them come out and even state that they were willing to give their lives for a better chance of living. Isn't this an opportunity for ECOWAS to do a bit more listening to what the Nigerians actually want, as opposed to imposing what ECOWAS wants for Niger?
Yeah, like I told you, it's an internal crisis. It's an internal issue in Niger. ECOWAS as a body, in as much as they have the responsibility to ensure that democracy returns back to Niger, it is also very, very important for ECOWAS leaders to reflect on the issues and even find out more. Yes, they have sent some leaders across the ECOWAS states to go and dialogue with these people. The issue is very simple. If you look at what happened in 93 or thereabouts, Abacha was able to gather people to do a 1 million march. And so these things are not difficult for the military to do when they come to power. Because one, like I said, the people must have had it to a point where they feel that taking out the president through the coup is the best option for things to get better. They are having the feeling that the military might restore a better hope for them. But it's unfortunate that we cannot accept and we cannot encourage unconstitutional for any form of unconstitutional government. We cannot encourage that, because if we do, it's a very big problem. And the people of Niger, they seem happy from what you see.
Yes.
But that's not the solution. These juntas, they took advantage of the style of leadership, the concern of the people, the hardship, and the style of government. Because across Africa, we are having dictators in a democratic setting. How do you reconcile a president sitting for 39 years? That's dictatorship. Is it because he's not wearing uniform?
That's monarchy.
So we cannot. That's why I said African leaders need to respect their constitution. If the constitution says you must leave office in 8 years, in 4 years, leave office in 4 years.
Well, yeah.
If the constitution says you should have 1 term or you should have 2 terms, accept and go with the constitution. But in a situation where African leaders, when they get into office through the democratic setting, they put their National Assembly in their pockets, and what happens? They discuss things that are not in line with the constitution, and they do their bits because of what is in it for them. So African leaders need to put away the issue of what is in it for me. If you are a legislator, you are representing your people, your constituency. What is your relationship? How do you interact with your constituency? How do you know actually what they want? Or what you're bringing back to them? Is that what they need? We should cultivate the habit. African leaders should cultivate the habit of engaging the citizenry. engage them, know what they want, and not doing what you want for them. Because what you feel you want for them might not just be what they actually desire. And these things keep going on and going on like this. So if you sit in an office beyond what the Constitution approves, then you are a dictator.
That's right.
Or you go behind and amend your Constitution so you can remain in the office.
Forever.
That is dictatorship. That is a coup on the Constitution
All right.
itself.
If I may come in, Dr.
you to
Obiri.
go
Dr.
and-
Obiri,
yes.
yeah, very good. If
Guys,
I
when I
may
don't see the video, I don't get anything to talk much now. I'm going to send and give Tinubu. Send the video, give about Tinubu and ECOWAS people. You don't finish what I need to tell them. Me, I dey encourage them, make them go. Make them go fight. Who know who go know people want to go suffer them last. Guys, if you love what we're doing here, don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel, follow me on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter, even on TikTok. All of my people, I love guys. Peace out.